watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us here at 6 a.m. on this Tuesday. I'm Eric Connor.
And I'm Chris Groh. We still feel very much like we are in summer, even though football's been playing.
Right,
you feel the fall. You can almost smell the chili getting ready in the crock pot, but still summer.
Yeah, and taco pumpkin spice lattes now for weeks.
Yeah,
I think it was like July when Starbucks came out with that, right?
I mean, we're getting just hotter into this end of the week, so I don't know.
You're back to the iced coffee.
Yeah, I will be.
Yeah.
By Thursday, Friday. I mean, I probably will be by this afternoon. Let's be realistic. But yes, we are starting to see those temperatures climb as we get into the end of the week. In the meantime, visibility right now is below a mile in plenty of spots close to the coastline. Miramar and Kearney Mesa, two spots that we're watching for at half a mile. Fallbrook, starting to see some of those clouds drift inland at less than half a mile, and Brownfield is looking the same. Oceanside's at about 2.5 miles. I'll send things over to Vanessa with a check of traffic.
Hey, Evan, so far so good out there. Nothing really to report. In fact, no major crashes nor delays. Always happy to announce that in our broadcast. The 5 in both directions at Villa de la Valle in really good shape as you make your way either out or towards the Del Mar area. Meanwhile, we have the sun finally lighting up the freeways here. This is the 5 in both directions coming in from National City. Those headlights are headed towards the curves, traveling towards downtown. We've been mentioning it all morning. The fog is really the big issue that will hinder travel as you head out the door this morning. It looks like it's the worst between the 5 and parts of the 15 south of the 56. Coming up a little later, we'll take a look at your Tuesday drive times. That's all ahead. Chris.
All right. Thank you, Vanessa. Sanctuary jurisdictions have until today to reply to the Justice Department if they intend to comply with federal immigration law, and that includes San Diego County.
U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi sent letters to jurisdictions that the Justice Department says are impeding immigration enforcement. The DOJ is threatening investigations, civil or criminal actions, and leveraging things like federal contracts and funds if jurisdictions do not comply.
And this morning, some school district leaders in Lakeside are speaking out against a proposed bill that aims to protect children of parents detained by immigration officials.
Critics are calling it a human trafficker's dream. To explain that, CBS 8's Regina Yarita live in Lakeside with what this bill will do here. Regina?
Yeah, good morning, guys. And this is a bill that legislators introduced amid ICE arrests. It aims to protect children whose parents have been taken away by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement near schools. But I want to show you the recent incidents that have happened here locally. This is video from Linda Vista Elementary School. You can see federal agents covered with their faces covered. Another arrest unfolded near Enrique Camarena Elementary. Same thing, you could see federal agents approaching a car. Now, Assemblymember Celeste Rodriguez wrote the Family Preparedness Act in response to increasing immigration enforcement that often separates parents from their underage children. But some school board members are opposed to AB 495. Today, Lakeside School Board member Andrew Hayes will announce a plan to block the implementation of this bill. He argues that the Family Preparedness Plan Act could create legal loopholes for transferring custody, adding that the bill's text doesn't limit its use to immigration-related emergencies, meaning it could apply to any situation, opening the doors to any hostile relatives or even be misused by courts. Now, in a written statement, Assemblywoman Rodriguez counter-argued by writing that, quote, a caregiver's authorization affidavit does not grant any level of legal custody, does not bypass child welfare protections, does not prevent authorities from investigating abuse or trafficking concerns, and does not supersede any parent's rights. So here's what the co-sponsor of the bill also told us.
The bill does is creates a new short-term joint guardianship, which will allow families facing family separation to designate a joint guardianship which would preserve their parental rights.
And so later today, starting at 10 a.m., there is going to be a press conference from Lakeside School Board members who are hoping to block the implementation of this bill, Bill 495. We'll keep you guys updated with the latest details coming from that press conference. I'm Regina Urita, CBS 8.
Thank you, Regina. And recent ICE arrests near schools are why some organizations are launching teacher patrols this morning. Union Del Barrio and the Association of Raza Educators say they have trained teachers to defend students during immigration enforcement operations. They will gather at Lincoln High at 7:30 a.m. Immigration officials have said recent arrests of parents off campus have not involved or targeted the schools. And the St. Augustine High School teacher charged with distributing child sexual abuse material will be back in court today for a bail hearing. 27-year-old Ryan Segura was arrested by FBI agents last week. Segura has since been placed on administrative leave from the Catholic high school. The school also says none of their students were involved. And today, tenants and a local nonprofit will rally for rent control and other protections in National City. They will gather at Kimball Park at 5 p.m. before the city council meeting. The Alliance of Californians for Community Empowerment is launching the campaign, saying state law does not go far enough to protect renters. This is not on the council's agenda, but organizers say they will speak during public comment. Meantime, the council will discuss an ordinance to regulate short-term rentals.
Today, the California Legislature's Election Committee is expected to take up a bill to redraw the state's congressional map. Governor Gavin Newsom wants to add 5 Democratic seats in Congress to offset a similar plan by Texas Republicans. So you see the current and proposed districts on your screen here. The so-called Election Rigging Response Act bill would temporarily transfer power to redraw district lines from the state's Independent Citizen Redistricting Commission to the California legislature to choose its own lines. The bill needs to be passed by the end of the week to land on the November statewide ballot.
We should never allow the politicians to manipulate the lines of their own election districts.
Republican Assemblymember Carl DeMaio from San Diego is against the redistricting effort. He's introducing his own citizens initiative to ban state lawmakers from running for office in the next 10 years if they vote in favor of the governor's plan. And in Texas, House Democrats returned to the Capitol after leaving the state for 2 weeks in an effort to stall the Republican-led effort to redraw voting district lines there. Soon after the Democrats returned, Republican lawmakers modified a proposed map that was already friendly to the GOP to make it even more favorable to Republicans. President Trump is urging Texas Republicans to pass the new map by the end of the month.
All right, 6:07 here on this Tuesday. And Evan, you've again mentioned it's going to start heating up here.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday seems to be the hottest stretch for us here in San Diego, and it looks like we'll be watching for an extreme heat warning to be taking effect around that same time frame. Right now, we'll watch, likely to be upgraded to a warning as we get toward the end of the week. In the meantime, today, Tuesday, as well as Wednesday, things are still pretty mild out there. The warm-up really starts to be felt by that second half of the week. In the meantime, like we talked about, visibility is reduced out by the coast. Here's a live look outside from La Jolla, where we've got visibility down to about half a mile in some spots. By the time we get to the next couple hours, we will start to see not only that visibility improve and sunshine make way, but temperatures warming up really nicely. Right now in the 60s, we are likely to make it to the upper 70s out by the coast, low 90s across our inland valleys and our mountains. This is warm for our inland valleys and our mountains, starting to kind of push us in to that warmer than average range, especially by tomorrow afternoon, and in particular by Thursday afternoon. Deserts are going to make it to 109 this afternoon, and those temperatures do show some signs of staying warm all the way through the upcoming weekend, which would mean that currently the expiration on the extreme heat warning that comes for Friday could be extended to Saturday and Sunday. Satellite radar showing those clouds are mainly an issue out along the immediate coastline, but again, they are very patchy to kick off the day. Ramona is one spot where yesterday they finally made it into the above average range after about a week of below normal temperatures. 92 is what they hit yesterday, and like we mentioned, we are only getting warmer from here, so we'll keep seeing those temperatures climb through the end of the week. Comes on the heels of a heat wave that came just over a week ago. Vanessa Paz checking in on how traffic is this morning. Good morning.
Hey, Evan. 6:10 is the time for you on your Taco Tuesday. Still so far so out good. Again, so far so good. Again, the main issue is the fog that we're dealing with, and it's pretty dense, especially in the North County, parts of the North County. In fact, north of Oceanside, as you make your way towards Camp Pendleton, we're also seeing some dense fog out there too. 70-mile-per-hour speeds, that's what you're averaging if you're traveling in from Oceanside. About the same in from Escondido. Same deal in from Santee, as well as the La Mesa Grossmont area, traveling through College, and about 65 to 70-mile-per-hour speeds coming inbound from National City, as well as Chula Vista this morning. All right, I'm trying to look for the fog on our Caltrans cameras, but I am failing at doing so. 805 North and Home Avenue, it looks like it's pretty good in terms of visibility here. And this is that drive, that's the northbound drive as you travel in from Chula Vista. That's the southbound drive, right side of your screen. And then this is what it looks like by the San Diego International Airport. You can actually see maybe a little bit of fog out in the distance there, closer to the water, but so far so good. That's some good news if you're catching a flight. It doesn't look like it's too dense near the airport. 10 to nearly 30 minutes to get you southbound in from Encinitas as well as Escondido this morning. Full span of the 78 West in from Vista towards Oceanside will take you about 15 minutes at last check. And drive times are all good out of the South Bay in from National City as well as Chula Vista will take you just about 10 to 15 minutes. I know it's red, but that is not a slow drive whatsoever. In fact, in from downtown to Coronado is actually a pretty nice drive. That'll just take you about 5 minutes at last check. All right, it is 6:11. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Border wait times, not too shabby if you ask me. About 30 minutes if you're coming inbound from the San Ysidro port of entry. Less tthan that in from Otay Mesa's port of entry. So it looks like the drives, guys, overall pretty quiet this morning.